You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge, where I'm always serving you wisdom and knowledge from a spiritual perspective. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Monday. Hope everybody has a positive week coming up. For those who are already starting off rough on Monday, listen, don't give up, don't be discouraged. All things will come together for the good. So I just definitely wanted to give y'all some words of encouragement on that. So I wanted to get into this right away. Also keep in mind, I do have two different channels. Make sure y'all hit the like button, because often we get into the content and we forget to hit the like. So if you can hit the like for me right quick, I would gladly appreciate that. But I do have two channels. I've been covering a lot of the Diddy fiasco that's been going on, and I've been having to break it up in series. I've been predominantly speaking more about it on my other channel, which is Mocha's Cafe de Paris. That's my co-ed channel for men and women. So please make sure you subscribe over there if you haven't already. Matter of fact, this is my channel here. So make sure y'all check out my second channel now. As like Mocha's Cafe de Paris. This is my co-ed channel for men and women. So please make sure you subscribe over there if you haven't already, because I do be covering some interesting celebrity tea and topics and different things of that nature over there. So please make sure you subscribe to that channel
for those who might not,
if you haven't already. Okay. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to talk about this later on within the content, but nevertheless, just making sure I don't miss my space. I definitely wanted to go into a sermon today in which I felt it was imperative for us to discuss how cheating in peace defines strength for women in other coffee chat topics that I have coming up. But first things first, we have to get into the sermons. Let me also start off too, before I go into the sermon. I did post on the community tab that I wanted to get better audio quality for my content. I know y'all been noticing a lot of staticking, a lot of background noise, like you may hear like a fan or something going, and at times for a person who has really good listening skills, it can become very frustrating when you're trying to listen to a content creator speak, but the audio is staticky, or you hear a bunch of noise in the background, and that's because I don't have the best of quality when it comes to a microphone. So for anybody who feels the spirit of giving, I am collecting $5 per subscriber. I need actually up to $5 per person. I think I'm down to like let me see, 40, 39, 38, 37. I think I'm down like to 36 or 35 people now. So if I can get $5 from 36 more people, that will help me to be able to get a more quality microphone, so that way I'll have better audio when I do my content. But I gotta give a shout out to those who have donated $5 to the Mocha's Ladies Lounge congregation, because I have to pay homage to that, because listen, it's not easy for people to trust investing into your platform and your brand, and I get it. People are very skeptical about that these days. So for those who entrusted donating to Mocha's Ladies Lounge, I got to shout you out. I'm gonna just say your first name without giving out too much information, because some of y'all did send me your YouTube name that you go by with your Cash App. So if you do send a $5 donation, please also put in the payment that you send your YouTube name that you go by, so I can recognize who you are and also give you that recognition and that acknowledgement for looking out and sending the $5 donation. But so far, the 3 that have sent me something, ladies love. We know her as 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 or Locke. Hopefully I am butchering it, but I'm gonna just say 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. Thank you for the $5 donation, dear. I appreciate that. Also Kanisha, I'm sure she has a totally different YouTube name. Kanisha B, thank you, dear, for the $10 donation. Tasha Leak, thank you for the $5 donation as well. So far, that's $20. So just, I think, what, 135 or whatever the case to go, and I can get my $200 microphone and have much better audio quality. So for those of you who want to donate, I will put my Cash App in. Well, my Cash App is on the thumbnail. The name that should come up is JT Mocha, and you should see a picture of me wearing a short bob and some glasses. That is me. That will not be somebody else. So you will see my picture, okay? And it says JT Mocha, so that way there's no mistakes, there are no mishaps or whatever. But $5 or more, or $2-3, any blessing is a blessing, so I can get a better microphone. And when I get my microphone, I will let all of you know when I purchased it and what kind of microphone I had purchased. So you're going to see where your money's going at, okay? All right, so let's get into the sermon, right? Let's get it popping. I felt it was imperative that I talked about this because I found it rather disturbing when Scrappy, and anybody who's not familiar with Scrappy, if you are familiar with the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, we've seen Scrappy be the man child that he's always been for years. You would think by now he would have matured, he would have adulted, and he would have learned his lesson after having multiple relationships with women, not working out. Doesn't appear to be that Scrappy doesn't go by the name Scrappy for nothing, because what Scrappy does is exactly what his name represents. He gives women scraps, okay, of himself, meaning he will never ever fully commit to any woman. And I'm not just going to pick on Scrappy, because you have a lot of men who also have this issue, in which women are just objects. Women are just human beings that they consider as toys. Like a child has a toy chest, a toy box full of toys. Even if you notice, that child will go in the toy box, play with the toy, and then when they get bored with it, they'll leave the toy right on the floor, or they'll take the toy and throw it across the room and leave it there. You have some men who specifically see women as toys. They only deal with us when they are bored, they have no purpose in life, or they need something to comfort them or bring them some type of temporary pleasure, anything to fulfill them for the moment. And then when they have gotten what they needed out of us for the moment, we are easily discarded. So we have seen Scrappy go from woman to woman. We have seen him 1 minute acting like he wanted a relationship with Erica, only to turn around and demote her back to a baby mama. We've seen him jerk Shay around, making Shay think that Shay was on Love and Hip Hop at one time. She was one of the contestants from Flavor of Love. Sure, I forgot what she went by on that, but I'm gonna look that up. So he played with Shay from Love and Hip Hop, so making Shay believe there was a potential relationship and that he wanted to be with her. And he had Shay putting all kind of things in her name, apartments, cars, you name it. And she did all of that off the strength of thinking they was going to be together. Matter of fact, let me show you Shay. Okay, let me just show you Shay, so we can go back down memory lane. Okay, so this is Shay here. Okay, so this is Shay, who was on Love and Hip Hop, has a beautiful little girl and everything, and she went through an emotional roller coaster, basically, with Scrappy. 1 minute wanting to be with her, next minute he didn't want to be with her. So she went through all of that. You get what I'm saying? So only for him to humiliate her publicly, you know, Bucky. She was Bucky. Okay, I just had to remember. Only for him to publicly humiliate her after she did all this shining and flexing with him, and only for him to propose to Erica on stage, right? But anyway, not going through all of that. But you get my drift. Then, like I said, he ping-pong, went back and forth from Shay to Erica Dixon, which is one of his other baby mothers. Very stunning woman. All of these beautiful women. And yet, he won't commit to neither one. This is Erica. Okay, they share a daughter together. I always thought she was a very, very beautiful woman. These clowns keep picking up beautiful women, and that's why they think they have it like that, to be discarding women and taking women through emotional changes. Okay, then after all of that, going back and forth with Erica, then out the thin blue air, he decides to get with Bambi. Now, to me, Bambi and Scrappy was never compatible. That's just my opinion. But I believe what happened was Scrappy wanted to jump into another relationship quick because Erica at that time got tired of the shenanigans and she would not accept his hand in marriage. So to me, Bambi was like a rebound type, okay, situation, right? So Bambi, being in a stage of desperation of wanting a husband and wanting a family and wanting children, because you know something about when you start hitting the middle 30s and you don't have children, you start panicking and you feel like you have to have a family, you have to have a man, and you let your biological clock rush you into marrying and building a family with a clown, okay? And that's what Bambi did. And Bambi not only had one, but she ended up having 3 children from him. And I always tell women, whenever you start make the decision to have a child from a man, just have one first to see how he treats you with that first child. And then if you feel okay, he's father material, he's a family man. Because let me tell y'all something, every man that has children, a man can have a family, but that don't mean he's a family man, okay? And basically, Bambi had 3 kids back to back to back before really getting to see all of Scrappy's true character, before she decided to have additional children from him. Okay, so altogether, Bambi is a mother of 3. Okay, he made her a wife and a single mom overnight. Okay, so you can imagine the transition of going to a single woman all these years, not having no children, not having no husband, and overnight you become a wife and a mother of 3. So this the transition was very, very, it had to be very challenging, to go from having this single woman life where you can come and go as you please. Now you have 3 children you have to take care of on your own because you had a child from a man child who needed some growing up himself. And let's face it, Scrappy basically gaslighted to get out of that marriage. He gaslighted because what happened was, see, you got to realize Scrappy is not used to being a full-time father or not even a dedicated boyfriend for that matter. So he made himself a full-time father and a husband overnight. He took on 2 roles that he knew he was not qualified to deal with. And what happened was, behind the cameras, when Love and Hip Hop was not filming, Scrappy, sure enough, started acting up. Once he realized, okay, this is my everyday routine. I got to come home, be a husband, come home to a father of 3, and I think he got very bored and tired of that life. Not to say he does not love his children. I'm sure he loves his children, but I think because him and Bambi put more responsibilities on their relationship and their marriage before they could learn each other, before they can get used to each other, I think the responsibilities kind of dampen the excitement. And a lot of women don't understand this. When you have multiple children from a man in such a short amount of time, meaning it's only been 2-3 years, and here it is, y'all already got 3-4 kids within a 3-4 year relationship. What's going on is you're adding on more baggage to the relationship before you can learn just to enjoy each other, just learning how to communicate with each other. And what tends to happen is the kids get caught up in it. And that is what happened. Scrappy and Bambi did not know each other like that. Now granted, Scrappy did run behind Bambi, just like Safari ran behind Erica Mena. And ladies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. A man can run behind you, chase you down, you give in, and he still not want you. Okay? He can end up not wanting you. It happens. And you lost in the sauce like, this guy chased me down, this guy ran after me. Yeah, once they have conquered you, now the interest is no longer there. And Bambi should have really took her time and made sure that Erica was completely out of Scrappy's system, because as soon as they divorced, guess what? He was booed up with Erica. Okay? Even though Erica kept trying to downplay and make it seem like there was nothing to it, he still has some type of feelings with Erica. But this is the catch. Not enough to treat her right or treat her better either, okay? So you have these women going for war at each other and you know, getting into it with each other, and you know, all of this over a man who has failed the both of them. I've seen women go at war with each other over a man that has disrespected them. 9 times out of 10, most women don't go at war over a good man. Why? Because a good man is not going to put you in that position. Most of the time, women go at war with each other over a dude that's no good anyway. Only a no good ass dude to put you in a position where you got to beef and argue with other women, right? But he recently went viral, y'all, right? And his perspective on what makes a real woman was very disturbing. Now, this is a trigger warning, what I'm about to play. I know a lot of y'all are going to get upset. Y'all are going to get mad. But I have to, like, tell you this. You get what I'm saying? I have to let y'all hear this. And it's very interesting. You know, Scrappy, out of all people who don't really, Scrappy don't even need to be giving anybody no relationship or marital advice, because he has not stayed in a marriage long enough to be telling women or what is considered a real woman when you have not been a real man. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, okay? But anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and play the footage, and we're going to reiterate on it, y'all. Like I said, this is a trigger warning. Get ready to get mad.
Loyalty, while others see it as putting up with too much disrespect. And then there's Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop, New York. She's married to Mendices Harris, who did some time in prison. Through all that, Yandy stayed by his side, keeping their family strong. But now that Scrappy's dropped this real women comment, social media has been divided.
No, Rashida ain't never leaving Kurt. Like, I talked to Rashida and Yandy last night. Them ain't never leaving them, man. They real women. Real women don't leave they men, cuz.
Fair use, fair use. Now, what he's saying is, because Rashida is still standing by Kurt after multiple affairs and train of thought, Mendices and Yandy stood by each other, and Yandy had to deal with Mendices going back and forth, you know, with women prior and currently within her marriage. So basically, because both of these women who have chose to stand by their husbands through all of the disrespect and all of the embarrassment, Scrappy is basically saying that these women are real women. Why? Because they never left their husbands no matter what. Now, I want to say there's also some unfairness to this statement, because for one, you don't know why these women are standing by their no good husbands, okay? So I don't think it's ever good to put other couples on blast, because it's basically like an insult. He's thinking he's complimenting 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and Yandy, but he's actually embarrassing the hell out of them, because it's like these are real women only because they're standing by their men no matter what their men do. He's not saying these are good women because any other woman would have been left. I mean, all of the women I ever disrespected, they left. Or I never had women who valued marriage to the point to where they would tolerate me doing any and everything I want to do. He basically insulted them. That is not a compliment. People go through what they go through in a marriage for their own reasons, and it's not fair for outsiders to draw a conclusion based off of the highlights, only the negative that you are seeing being displayed, because marriage is not always all negative. For every negative there's a positive, for every positive there's a negative. To me, while everybody is focusing on 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and Kirk and Yandy and being weak or slow or dumb or thirsty, whatever you perceive these women for Mendices, the whole overall part is Scrappy has not shown not even a pinch of husband qualities, okay? He won't even stay dedicated to a woman long enough for her to even consider tolerating some of the BS, okay? Everybody can say what they want to say about Kirk and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪, but you have to realize that he was very, very young. He invested a lot into her career. This is not to justify that we should ignore what Kirk has done and we should give 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 a pass, but it's different strokes for different folks. There's way more longevity in their marriage. So you cannot compare a 3-year marriage that's not even a marriage at that point, it's an annulment, to someone who's been together for probably 20-25 years. They have endured way more. Like I said, we're just seeing the end of the movie. We don't know that if it's always been bad. We're catching the parts. We're catching 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and Kirk's marriage at their worst. We wasn't there from the very beginning before it got this far out of hand, and because it's made publicly, that's what makes it worse. Because like I told y'all, a lot of y'all favorite couples that y'all idolize, they going through a lot of stuff behind closed doors. They going through a lot of disrespect. But what they different from Kirk and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 is they're being quiet, they're being discreet. So while y'all praising Sierra and Russell and you praising, you know, all of these other couples who you feel like the ideal perfect man, the perfect woman, you don't know what type of challenges they are overcoming. They are just smart enough to be quiet and not do reality shows. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're not going to do reality shows in which all of Jay-Z's outside children are going to be exploited. That way you can drag him and drag Beyonce through the mud like y'all doing Kirk and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and all these other couples who have not been there as private. But again, this is coming from Scrappy, who had no right really throwing these other two couples up under the bus. He could have just simply said, you know what, it's women out there who's sticking by their man no matter what. No, you're using 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and Yandy because they're on the show, and you know they're kind of in the same circle, being that y'all all are castmates for the show, and you're basically trying to use these women as your what you consider as women of strength, because they are willing to tolerate way more than what other women are willing to tolerate, or women who are in private tolerating. No sir, this does not vindicate your point. But let's keep playing.
At all, because they know what, they know the future. The future is go far and beyond these weak they lead they want to be on their own. They think they strong. Okay, be strong. You feel what I'm saying? Be on your own. Raise all your kids. Do everything. You know, and that just be like, and then you get a worse in the end and you got to die with that.
Now, let me tell you something interesting about this, right? And it's a piece of truth to what he's saying, but it's more untruth than there is truth. And let me explain that before y'all start beating me down too much, right? The truth of the matter is, right, I would say this: marriage is not for everyone. It's not. And I would never tell a woman that she is weak because she decided to leave a husband that was not respecting her as his wife. I would never tell a woman to prove her loyalty by staying in an unhealthy marriage. However, I also will not bash a woman who has made the decision to stand by regardless of what, even though we as women, because you know, women, we are each other's worst critics. Okay, we give each other hell when we see one decide to do something we wouldn't do. Okay, not understanding it's things you put up with that other women would not put up with. Okay, so women, we are each other's worst enemies when it comes to us having an opinion and what we feel a woman should tolerate and what a woman should not tolerate. Now, every woman has their level of tolerance, and every woman has their deal breakers. Most deal breakers are cheating, and most definite deal breakers are when children are conceived in a marriage. Those, most of the time, in that instance, are significant deal breakers. However, everybody does not have the same amount of grace. Some people, grace is different from others. Sometimes God gives us the grace to endure certain things that other women will not. And let's put cheating and babies on the outside. You have women who have the grace to stand by their husbands who are incarcerated for life and will never get out of prison. Okay? Yet, she does not mind accepting her lifestyle as a prison wife, meaning she's going to keep money on his books, meaning she knows that she's going to be always traveling alone, she's going to always be alone. The only closeness she will ever have is FaceTiming her prison husband. Her prison husband may be very territorial, wants to know every move she makes, where she's going. She's got to answer that phone every 5 minutes or every day. She has the grace to endure that. Now, women on the outside, absolutely not. There's not too many women that are going to be dedicated as a prison wife. You have some women who are dedicated to a man not working, not providing. You got some women who love the idea of having a house husband. I don't agree with that, but you have some women, they are just that insecure. They think that if their man goes out and work, he's going to meet other women on the job, as if he can't meet other women sitting home while you work all day. But this is the psyche of how a lot of women think. And some women are more damaged than others. And some women, sometimes the more damaged the woman is, the more grace she's willing to extend. And not even so much damage. You have some women who just really honor their vows. 1,000%. You have some women that just really honor their vows, for better, for worse, for sickness and health, meaning this is a marriage that I chose, and because I honor God and I honor how God feels about marriage, I'm in it for the long haul. Now, from the outside looking in, you're not going to look at it like that. You're going to look at it like she's stupid, she's weak, she don't have a backbone. But I'm just breaking down reasons for why women tend to stay in marriages and why some women do not. So, back on what Scrappy was saying. There have been women who have left marriages just to prove a point to other women. Because, like I said, women, we are our own worst critics. Nobody bashes women harder than other women. I tell you, okay? Women we will drag each other through the mud in the event that a woman is willing to deal with things that we are not going to deal with. Okay? So, I've seen women leave marriages because they did not want to be looked at as weak. They did not want people to look at them as less than a woman. I've seen women leave marriages just for approval because they don't want people looking down on them. They don't want people talking about them now. Not because they did anything wrong, but because their husband violated or did something embarrassing to her. Now, you got some women on the other hand, it's not about what other people think or what other people, it's about this man disrespected me, he violated me, I'm done, I'm not going to stay in this marriage another year just to save face, I'm out. And I respect women who think on that level as well. Certain violations are just not worth the risk. I'm not going to risk you bringing me diseases, other children, or whatever the case is, so I understand it either way. But I've seen women jump ship only in some instances, again, because y'all know me, I'm always give y'all several ways to look at things. I'm not a one-track minded woman. So if you want me to be on some, yeah, every woman need to leave a no good ass man, that's not how I roll. I'm gonna always give you 30 different goddamn ways of looking at stuff, okay? Because I'm not one of them women that's gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And it is what it is. It's women who's jumped ship only to regret it. Only for that man to straighten up and get his life together with the next woman. Because it took him losing this good woman who says, you know what, I'm done, I'm not dealing with it. He had to lose her in order to realize, you know what, I realize that good women are hard to come by. Only for him to get this stuff together and get with the next woman and get his act together. Now, again, this is not to justify you should stay because you may be missing out on him getting it together. I'm just telling you women who I have spoken with who have shared with me their regrets. This is just another way of looking at stuff. This is not to encourage anybody to stay with a Kirk or a Scrappy or a Safari or a Judge Mathis, whatever, okay? Again, this is just giving you more than one way of looking at things, all right? At the end of the day, you your own woman, you got to make your own decision. Make sure you hit the like button. I would appreciate that, right? Thank you if you hit the likes. Now, women have jumped ship only to regret it because they made decisions out of temporary emotional anger. You know, it's expected. I'm tongue tied. It's expected when you catch that unexpected text message, when you catch that, you know, he had this secret luncheon only for you to walk in and catch him having lunch with this woman he never told you about. It's expected to go off and lose it when you catch a violation in the marriage. That's a given, okay? However, sometimes you have to look at the overall picture. Is this a continuous thing? Was this a one-time thing? Again, I get it. For some of you, ain't no two times. Once a man messes up, he's counseled. I get it. But that's you. Every woman don't feel that way. And you shouldn't ridicule and drag other women who feel differently. She got her reasons like you got your reasons, okay? How long has it been going on? Did it just start and God just so happened brought it to my attention where I could call him out on it early? However the case is, right? Some women, I've had women email me. Okay, so for all you holier than thous, what you would never take, what you would never deal with, this message may not be for you. Okay, keep the faith, be strong and on your own, however, right? It's been women who emailed me. I regret it. I was mad. I didn't think it all the way through. I'm out here catching hell, raising these kids by myself. Again, this ain't to persuade anybody to stay. But I'm just telling you, you got to do what's best for your situation. You cannot follow behind all these sister soldier women who quit to tell you and make you feel bad because you're making a decision that you feel is in your best interest. And I'm going to tell you, that's really why a lot of people hate Rashida more than anything. She's just one that's going to go against the grain. She has her own mind. She's not one that's going to let anybody talk her into leaving her marriage. Now, you may consider that strong or you may consider that weak. You may even look at her as less than a woman. But what I do respect about Rashida, she really don't give a damn how people think. And that's hard. That's hard these days to do what's best for you, even though you know people going to drag you, even though you know people going to look at you like a clown, even though you know people going to talk about you every time they see you walking with them. That does take strength, okay? Because any other woman would have folded by now, like, this ninja done embarrassed me too many times. But it ain't for us to understand. She already made a choice. And whatever other consequences, if Kirk embarrasses her again or humiliates her again, guess what? That's her burden to bear. And that's going to always be Kirk's burden to bear, because, let me share this scripture with y'all. Because while y'all are up here trying to give the side chicks a pass and all, let me tell y'all something. God is not playing with these husbands. Okay? He is not giving these husbands a pass. He's not giving these side chicks a pass. 1 Peter chapter 3, 7 through 9. In the same way, you husbands must give honor to your wives. Treat your wife with understanding as you live together. She may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner in God's gift of new life. Treat her as you should, so your prayers will not be hindered. Guess what? Even if Kirk leaves, okay, even if Rashida divorces, God is still going to hold Kirk accountable, because until he treats her right, his prayers are going to continue to be hindered. That's why he keeps getting exposed. That's why he has to walk down hall of shame and deal with that embarrassment, because that is part of the penalty for not treating Rashida right. Okay, see, everybody else is looking at her from a worldly way. Rashida's stupid, Rashida thirsty, Rashida's a pushover, whatever the case is. But no, the real pushover is Kirk, because God is watching how Kirk, as a husband, is treating Rashida. Yeah, Rashida's getting the worldly effect of people ridiculing her and dragging her, coming on her posts, commenting, saying things to humiliate her. But Kirk is the head honcho that's going to continue to keep having to deal with God, because God is standing on business. He's not playing with husbands or wives who don't have any respect for their marriage. But a lot of these husbands, that's why Martell is in the situation he's in. That's why all his prayers are constantly being hindered. That's why he cannot grow. That's why he cannot prosper. So I say that to say this, right? Because I'm getting off the subject. Some women have left and have regretted it, and wish they would have thought things out. Tyrese, ex-wife Samantha, that's dragging him back and forth to child support court. She even said she regrets letting people get in her ear. Okay? So, at the end of the day, I do agree with that 2%. You got to make a decision that's best for you. Not because you're worried about how other people going to look at you, how other people are going to talk about you. People are going to talk whether you do good or bad. That just comes with it, right? But what I don't agree with is that he is labeling a woman a real woman only because she's standing by her man who has violated their marriage multiple times. I disagree with that narrative, because to me, what a woman goes through, just because a woman's willing to tolerate or take a lot off of you, it does not mean that makes her a strong woman. If anything, it makes her even more vulnerable to the fact that she's constantly questioning her self-worth. She's constantly questioning her integrity as a woman. There's no prize in standing by a man who has humiliated you. So I agree with that. To me, a real woman is a woman who's going to stand on what she believes in, period. Rather, if that means I'm going to stand by him and we're going to get through this regardless of what, or I am not going to be humiliated or embarrassed or taken for granted. I am leaving this toxic marriage. That's what makes a woman a real woman. A woman who's going to stand on business and do what she knows is best for her. Not a woman that's willing to stand by, or not the women that's willing, to call it quits and move on and rebuild her life. It's about that woman doing what's best for her. And I disagree with him humiliating and insulting women on that level. I have an issue with that, but we're gonna proceed.
You know what I'm saying? Or you just leave it and you just by yourself anyway. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some of these women, they need to be by themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Be for real about the grass ain't green on the other side.
Yeah, the grass ain't green on the other side. That motherfucker there's another side.
Anybody you deal with, it's gonna be some shit that you don't like about that person. It's just the things from person to person is gonna be different. So it's like,
and Buddy married right here.
Yeah, folks be sitting around there looking for upgrades. You dig? The day you lay off be the day you pay off.
Let me stop by saying this. One thing is true, no marriage is perfect. I know a woman right now, she left a 17-year marriage because there was an infidelity issue. But it was on both parts, on her part and his part. Nevertheless, they was trying to work through it and work it out. And I guess, sometimes once damage is done and you can't recover. They divorced after 17 years, right? He moved on. He's remarried. He's doing really well with his newlywed marriage with his new wife. He moved to another state, started all over. He has his own trucking business, and he's really doing well with his wife. She, on the other hand, she picked up another guy out of desperation only because she heard her ex-husband had moved on. Some women tend to do this a lot. They feel like the only way to get over a dude is to get up under another one. And I think you really playing Russian roulette with your emotions and your well-being when you do that. But that's what she did. She picked up another guy. That was her way of getting past the pain. And I guess knowing that her ex-husband moved on, she was going to show him, hey, I got me somebody too, whatever the case is. Got with this dude a little younger than her and her husband. He ended up basically taking advantage of her as well. Moved in with her while she paid all the bills, while she treated them out, all of this to protect her image, to make it seem like I'm happy-go-lucky, I done moved on, I'm happy too. Meantime, behind closed doors, she was low-key miserable because she was the one helping to put up this facade. They traveling, going out of town, and she the one that was sponsoring it. Posting all these pictures when they going out to eat, and she was the one paying for it. So, pain has a funny way of making you do things. Pain has a way of making you bring more misery to yourself if you really don't deal with it accordingly. And instead of her giving herself time to process pain, because 17 years is a long time to have been with somebody, you cannot just move on instantly like that, because women, we are wired differently emotionally. Men can move on easily. Women, we can't, because our emotions are more intense, you know what I mean? So she tried to do what he did, and it was an epic fail. Only for this guy, after kicking it with him for a year or two, this dude won a settlement, got money, and he left her. Now, not only she's dealing with the pain of this recent guy who basically scammed her. Now she got to deal with that pain on top of the pain of that 17-year-old marriage not working out. So it's a catch-22. Sometimes you leave your situation and think you're going to do better, only for you to get the same, only for you to get worse. Be like, shit, I could have stayed where I was. Maybe by now we would have been past it. Maybe by now we would have gotten to a better place. Sometimes you never know. And some men, like Martell, just ain't no coming back from it. All this, I'ma do me. Once a man tells you, verbally says, I want you, but I still want this other person, ain't no hope in that. You know what I mean? So, there's a catch-22. That's just the other part that a lot of women don't think about. And they be too embarrassed to tell their friends who was their cheerleaders, capping for them to leave. Find out behind mama, find out behind sister. Let's face it, some women are just bitter. You can't get advice from all bitter women, because if it happened to them, some of them would do the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. I've seen this happen many times. So I will say, just to play devil's advocate, some women have left out out of temporary anger, instant anger, only to regret it because things didn't pan out like they thought it would. Now, some women have done it and they are absolutely happy about it. They are way more at peace. They find out the man they left is still dogging other women. Like Martell, he didn't step his game up and doing better with Ariana or anybody else. So, in Mel's defense, her leaving Martell, it worked out for her favor. Because Martell has not grown, has not prospered, has not elevated. So some men do not need to be spared any more choices. Because even when you leave them, they still going to be stuck in the same rut in which you found them. So, again, this is just more than one way of giving y'all some clarity on how to look at the situation. But what it is, Scrappy is using that as a manipulative tactic for Bambi or any other woman who chooses to deal with him. He's basically saying, if you're going to be a real woman, you got to take me disrespecting you. You got to take me lying to you. You got to accept me not really committing to you, because our relationships ain't perfect. Things happen. You know, you got to get past it. No, you don't get to pick and choose what a woman should get past. If a woman chooses to get past it, that's her decision. But what you will not do, sir, is gaslight and make all women who have left unhealthy relationships make it seem like you ain't no real woman, you ain't no strong woman because you didn't stay. No, sir. We will not help you encourage that low self-esteem theory. I beg to differ.
I'm telling you. And I tell him all the time, like, I don't give a fuck what you go through with your wife.
What you tell me all the time.
Fuck you, you feel me? I don't give a fuck what you go through with your wife. Stay with your wife, because I wish I would have stayed with mine. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have goddamn grabbed her motherfucking arms and tied them up and just like, we gonna stay together. Like, but I ain't that type of, you know what I'm saying? I already know. Yeah, I already know. I ain't finna. In
other words, you ain't no real man. You see, did you check the contradiction? See, he not gonna fight for it, but he want the woman to fight for it. Did y'all just peep that? I wish I could stay and pin you down and make you stay and make you, but I ain't like that. But you just said a real woman to stay. So with that being said, even if a woman was to stand by Scrappy, if he wanted to really be out of that marriage, he gonna leave her anyway. Period. Run away from men who have this mindset. Like, for real, for real.
in the forest, you know what I'm saying? In the forest, nothing. I try to for a minute, but if it don't work.
Some people are here for it, but others? Not so much. One user straight up said, real men don't put their women in this type of position. They're basically calling out Scrappy, saying if you really valued your woman, you wouldn't cheat or put her through all that. And
exactly.
Someone else took it a step further. Let 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 cheat back and see if Kirk a real man. Now that's an interesting point, right? But why is it that women are expected to forgive and forget, but if the tables were turned, would these men stay? Another user wasn't holding back either, saying, LMAO, if your man has a baby on you, leave him. Don't be like 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. That's the vibe a lot of people are feeling right now. Frustration with the idea that staying loyal means putting up with betrayal. Let's get real for a sec.
And let me be honest. Men will never tolerate near as much as women have. They never will. They never will. Because for them, it's an ego. It's an ego thing. You know, and this is not to justify, because I totally disagree with the man who thinks it's acceptable for him to consistently and constantly put his wife in embarrassment. But this is this egotistical attitude of what the world has perceived as being masculine. Being able to smash as many chicks as you want, and at the end of the day still have a strong woman that's going to stand by you. But see, these same attitudes is why these men are in the position they in. That's why he has this young baby mama like Martell, who outing him and embarrassing him and putting him on blast every chance she gets. So not only do they put their wives in a bad situation, but they put themselves in an even worse situation, because these women today have no problem exposing you, embarrassing you, and humiliating you. So why you think you're getting over because, oh, I have a strong wife no matter what. But guess what? It's these women on the outside that you playing with that's going to keep exploiting you, keep exposing you, and take you for everything you got. Play stupid games, end up with stupid prizes.
Second, Scrappy's comments reflect a traditional mindset where loyalty equals staying no matter what. But in today's world, a lot of people argue that loyalty also means having enough self-respect to set boundaries when your partner crosses the line. And the fact that 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 and Yandy are being used as examples? They've both gone through very public issues in their relationships, but does that mean all women should follow their lead? Does loyalty mean sacrificing your emotional well-being for someone who isn't giving you the same energy?
Absolutely not. And I definitely agree with that. And I'm not going to play all this person's content, but you can subscribe to Savvy University. That is the channel in which they give a lot of advice from a psychological and therapeutic standpoint. But I would never ever support anyone who's promoting a narrative that only real women stay in unholy, toxic, unhealthy marriages. But nor will I disrespect or humiliate a woman for staying. She's already been humiliated enough. Her husband has done a fine job for her on that. Only thing you can do is pray for women in this situation and pray that God gives them the strength and the abilities to be able to find themselves and not think that, you know, marriage consists of standing by no matter how much a man disrespects and humiliates you. But again, I just didn't like that narrative. Now, just to also bring some more clarity to this, Scrappy is not the only one who thinks this way, because I played this footage a couple of weeks ago in one of my other sermons that I did. It's a lot of men out here who have that attitude of a real woman is going to stand by and support her man no matter what he does, no matter how he humiliates her. Because Martell and Marsau and Maurice had this same discussion, okay, in which whom they also felt that way, that a woman shouldn't be going around exploiting everything that's going on in her marriage, because if other people know what's going on in your marriage, that gives them the room to influence you leaving. Now, Martell had this conversation with the Scam Brothers, and just so I can refresh in y'all memory, I'm going to play that footage right quick.
Man, it seemed like it was pretty fresh. I want to make sure everybody's good.
Dude, look, it's been like a year and a half.
I never heard about that.
That's my priorities: my wife, my family, my business, and then come back to the comeback group. So we
fair use.
Gonna be good no matter what.
No.
Stone.
It happened over a year ago. It didn't seem as if it was a year ago.
Even though we about over that situation in terms of me cheating, a lot of people have been coming back to mail like your husband is cheating on you.
That's tough.
We about over it, and they still bringing information. You know what I'm talking about?
That's why she's talking about respectful. Because if it was handled inside closed doors,
don't let it
you
out.
good. But then all of a sudden, everybody else stepping out and coming at you, and now you feeling like you the fool for even taking them back.
I get.
See, this is the mindset of the narcissistic ninja, like Scrappy, Martell, and best believe, because nobody's rebuttaling this, Maurice and Marsau have that same mindset, okay? Because they're basically saying, right along with Martell, hey, if women would just learn to be quiet about the disrespect and the cheating that goes on, that woman will be most likely to stay. Because if other women get the notion that your husband has violated you, disrespected you, of course they're going to come at you by saying you stupid for dealing with them, you stupid for taking them back. These guys are basically saying if women would just learn to keep their husbands cheating in the household, nobody will have an opinion, so therefore they would not feel bad, they would not feel humiliated if they just kept it in the house. Notice none of them said, not near one said, you know what, We shouldn't be cheating on our wives, period. Let's not even put our wives in this position of them getting embarrassed so people can use things against them to hurt them and humiliate them. Let's be faithful. Let's just, respect our marriage. Let's respect our vows. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want on and nobody flagging my video. That's what they're saying. That's basically how the conversation was going. If only Mel would have kept quiet and nobody knew. Ninja, you had a whole baby out here. You don't think somebody, some way, and as much as these bloggers be on it, like Caramel Rail, True Tea, all of these other ladies on blogging who be on point, who keep up with everything, Queen of Sheba, you don't think somebody wouldn't have found out about little Chucky? Even if Mel would have stayed? Somebody was going to find out, because like I said, these Jezebels, they love to expose these men. That comes with cheating. When you cheat on your wife and disrespect your vows, the succubus is going to exploit you. The succubus, meaning the Arion, air mattress, the Angry Bird, Arion the Angry Bird, Jasmine, coming out the thin blue air. Jasmine been quiet all this time. Now she, all of a suddenly, is everywhere like Arion Angry Bird. Now she's doing the same thing. Every time Rashida's posting events or posting her clothing store, because Rashida's a boss chick like Mel is a boss chick. And, of course, these baby mamas, they meet these wives and they get threatened when they see these wives got businesses, got entrepreneurship skills. Now they want to try to measure up and be like what the wife is, because now they're looking at, he didn't leave that wife for me. So what does that wife have that I don't? Now that's when Arion Air Mattress tried to open up the Shitty Trends boutique, and same thing with Jasmine or whatever. But all this comes from these men that aren't respecting their vows. This is their walk of shame, that they have to deal with. So I wanted to share that with y'all because I didn't like how that narrative was pushed, that only a good woman, a real woman, is a woman who stands by. No, a real woman is a woman who is willing to make decisions that she knows is in her best interest, regardless of how outsiders may feel about it. But I don't like how Scrappy threw Rashida and Yandy up under the bus to prove his narratives. Sir, you haven't been with nobody long enough to be giving no marital advice. So miss me with that, Scrappy. Alright, so wanted to get into the coffee chat. This is when I talk about other celebrity issues, a topic, current events, right? Want to talk about your girl NeNe. I want to talk about NeNe Leakes and her interview with Essence Magazine. Now, I'm going to just be frank with y'all. I've never been a fan of NeNe, I always did like her witty comebacks. I always did like her shade. She had her funny moments in which, I enjoyed, listening to her. But her personality and her as a person, she just was never my cup of tea. I felt like when NeNe became successful on Bravo, she thought she was bigger than Bravo, and she thought she was bigger than all the castmates of Bravo. Now, I will say, NeNe did bring that certain type of energy, that certain type of hot sauce that made the show a little bit more interesting. But over time, it became boring just watching her go from roasting women to degrading women. It's nothing. I think it's good to be a good roaster, but when it gets to the point to where you're degrading women, talking about their vajayjay and how many men done been, making these false accusations about a woman's vaginal parts and stuff, I think that's where that draws the line. When you get disrespectful, you calling women the B words, and you're insulting their body parts when you indeed was considering having a lot of surgeries yourself, because at that time, before she got her surgeries, when she had her big nose, when she had her dark skin, you was making a mockery out of other women's blonde wigs, which you're wearing blonde wigs now. Making a mockery out of Sheree's nose, and you got your nose done. So the whole time, NeNe was dragging and disrespecting her castmates about things that she indeed felt insecure about herself. And I always felt like NeNe was an insecure female. Even to this day, and her running and getting all of these surgeries confirms that, right? So, getting into the news at hand, y'all, NeNe is now being transparent about her grieving about her late husband. This is from Essence Magazine. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read the main points, and I'm going to go into giving my intake on it. So, of course, NeNe Leakes talks to her fans on Instagram Live about how much she misses her husband, her late husband, Greg Leakes. While on live, the reality television star 56 answered a fan who asked whether she misses Greg. Leakes began by saying she misses Greg so much. There's this old saying that you never miss a good thing until it's gone. Like that ish is for real. She began. I didn't even realize how valuable Greg was to my life or to us until he was gone. Because there's so many times when I want to be like, oh, Greg would like that, you know? And then I have to remind myself that Greg is not here. It's been over 3 years since Greg passed away. He died from cancer September 1st, 2021 at the age of 66. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2018. Leakes continued during her Instagram Live. I miss Greg a lot. So much. It makes no sense. Like I really miss him. He was great. He did so much to propel my career and support me, she said. It's hard for anybody to walk in his shoes. Greg is that guy. Like I was lucky and blessed by God to have had such a great husband for so many years. Leakes got married twice during their relationship. Some would argue that this is a testament to how much they loved each other. They first tied the knot in 1997 and then got divorced in 2011. Then second time around, the former couple remarried in 2013 and stayed married until Greg passed in 2021. Now, I'm going to see if I can find this thing here. So this goes to show y'all, getting back, let me get back to that. It was only a matter of time. I was wondering how long she was going to strut with NeNe. I ain't trying to be funny, and I know everybody grieves differently, but you can tell NeNe was over Greg's sickness. It became exhausting. It became unbearable. And I ain't going to say it was easy, because I remember the time my husband got injured and I had his wrist was messed up and he couldn't do roofing for a while. I'm not going to lie. I had to go in my closet and cry some days because I'm like, this is a lot. You know, I ain't had to climb the roof with him, but having to drive him everywhere when my husband has like 20 clients a day, it was really wearing me thin because I was so used to him taking care of everything. And see, this is the other part about marriage. When your other companion falls short, you never think about there's going to be times when you may have to step in and strap on your boots when you're not used to wearing those boots. And I'm a living witness of that, right? NeNe got big with her success. And I think as she got big with her success, her marriage started to weigh thin on her. Because once you run into success and fame, you're always on the go. You got other things you're trying to do. You're trying to grab at everything. And I think Greg's sickness was interfering with her still wanting to be great. If that makes sense, if you will. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you're just coming in. I think NeNe wanted so badly to keep doing her that there was a part of her where I ain't going to say she didn't love her husband. I'm not going to say she didn't have no compassion for her husband. I'm not saying that. But I strongly believe that she was ready to be freed. Okay? I believe she was ready to be freed because Greg was not the same Greg she was used to him being. I have an aunt right now, that's doing that mess. My uncle, who was always a hard-working man, always took care of the bills. He's wheelchair bound. He's not the same man he used to be anymore. He has to have a nurse help him go to the bathroom and all of that. This was a strong man who was very independent, very self-sufficient, and life just started lifing. Okay, and you can tell my aunt is angry that her husband, my uncle, is wheelchair bound. But see, it was fine when he was healthy and able to get around and pay the bills and do everything. And trust and believe he can still do it because he's a retired vet and he retired from the post office. So she don't even have to work, and she's not working because she retired. So she's blessed to be in a position of which she's in to have a husband that's wheelchair bound, but at least he makes enough money to where you don't have to do it all on your own. Y'all have a nurse that comes. You got women that's in a struggle where their husband's not getting a retirement funds or whatever. And now that he's sickly and wheelchair bound, they got to do everything. They can't afford to get in-home care and stuff like that. And you can just tell she is miserable. You know, this is what happens to women in most cases who are used to their husbands doing everything, who are used to their husbands always catering, who are used to their husbands always stepping up. And when life starts life and them husbands can't do that no more, now all of a sudden you are tired. You are tired of taking care of him because you done got so used to him taking care of you. You are tired of holding him up because you were used to him holding you up. NeNe found out the hard way. She thought because she had all the success and all this notoriety that she could just step off and leave her marriage and get something bigger and better because she ran into success. Now, let me remind y'all of something. During that time when NeNe and Greg first separated, NeNe was trying to step out then, okay? She started talking to a football player by the name of John. Now, this was the real NeNe, y'all, before the bleaching, before the nose job. This was the real NeNe, okay? Looking like she worked at the counter behind Popeye's Chicken, okay? All right. How can I help you? May I take your order? Do you want that mild or spicy? Do you want the red beans and rice? Or do you want the Cajun rice? She had that hood chick that work at Popeye's face, all right? She don't went from that to white girls, okay? NeNe went from working at Popeye's to now looking like, you know, she looked kind of drag queenish in this. She got too much foundation. Yeah, she went from looking hood to looking like a white chick, basically. She's changed all her facial structures, right? Let's get back, right? Anyway, for those of you who don't remember, NeNe Leakes filed for divorce from Greg Leakes a few years ago as she felt completely betrayed by him. No, not just betrayed by him, honey. Your money got big and you got too big for Greg. You didn't want him no more, okay? Something about when a woman starts making money and her husband ain't making that money anymore, he starts looking like a broke po' boy, okay? She started losing interest in him. This ain't the first time Greg betrays you. But yet, you married him and knowing he was married and had a family. But all of a sudden, because you started making this money, you want to divorce Greg because you felt completely betrayed by him. So at this time, if y'all can remember, Greg had supposedly borrowed money from people in the circle without NeNe knowing about it, and made her furious. That was when she went off on Dwight and basically spazzed out on him about Dwight going around telling people Greg had to borrow money. This embarrassed NeNe. Righteously so. I would be embarrassed too if my husband would have did that. But anyway, during that time apart, Leakes was spotted with a man named John who showered her with gifts. She never said that they were exclusively dating, but she did seem to enjoy the attention and gifts. When John had disappeared from the spotlight, he resurfaced once again on the reunion special for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya Moore revealed that Marlo had reached out to John after NeNe dated him and revealed something around the lines of Marlo getting $20,000 from him. Okay, now, this is not the story I was looking for. This was around the time when that older white man was crushing on NeNe and was trying to bribe NeNe. She probably would have been better off with him instead of her no good African bae Naomi. Now, this was This was that, I remember the older white guy that was basically trying to bribe her or whatever. But I was trying to find a story when she was dating the football player who Marlo started talking to, or something in that alignment. But I'm gonna get to the point in a few minutes. But NeNe Leakes received $1,000 worth of gifts from John, including a Rolex. She was quite quick to dump him when he and Greg Leakes worked out their issues again. They have since remarried. But that's when I think Marlo called herself trying to hit up John too. But that's really wasn't the story I was looking for, y'all. I was trying to find when NeNe was dating that younger football player. Oh, okay. There's a story. NeNe Leakes was dating Charles Grant. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Let me see. Let me get this out the way. Okay. Alright, when did this come out here? Okay. Alright, so that's how long ago this was, 2011. Yeah, but NeNe Leakes, supposedly at the time, was dating NFL player Charles Grant. And I did not know, let me see, word on the street is NeNe Leakes may not be returning. Now, this was 2011, so this is old news. But what really has folks talking is that she's reportedly being replaced on the show by Marlo Hampton, the fiance. So somehow, I don't know if that's how Marlo got in the show, because NeNe was dating allegedly Marlo's fiance at the time, but you can't go by that because Marlo believes in stretching the truth. But basically what I was saying was the same Charles Grant that NeNe was rumored to be dating when she broke up with her husband Greg, although Charles said in an exclusive interview that he never met NeNe. So let me show y'all who Charles Grant is. I remember they was dating. I remember that. But NeNe thought it was more serious than he did. So this was the guy that NeNe was dating at the time, okay? So NeNe was trying to hit the big ones, okay? All right, again, this is old news, right? And of course, like a lot of these athletes and men in the industry, he wasn't checking for her the way she was checking for him. So that is what made her go back to Greg. NeNe felt because she ran into this new alignment of success that it was time for her to upgrade her man. And she wanted somebody who had some bread because Greg was getting older and Greg didn't have that bread. After Charles Grant dumped her, she realized, you know what? My success and my newfound fame, I see it's not granting me the privilege to upgrade my husband. So let me go back to my husband, because trust and believe, I believe if NeNe could have landed someone better who could support her better financially, she would have went and ghosted on Greg. She went back to Greg not only because Charles Grant ditched her and the reality of nobody's going to scoop me up and put me on because I'm NeNe of Bravo. The fact that no other man is going to kiss her ass like Greg was. You know, Greg was very humble to her. Greg, she got anything she wanted out of Greg. Hell, Greg left his whole wife and family to be with her. And I think that gave, in itself, it gave NeNe this sense of entitlement of any man she meets, he should be willing to roll out the red carpet for her, because that's what Greg has always done. And she's finding out how brutal this industry is. And now that we're seeing how Diddy's getting exposed, NeNe is finding out the industry is not all what it's cracked up to be. Just because you get your ass done, your face done, you're wearing a top of the line lace wigs, it does not make you stand out any more different than the rest of these Hollywood broads, okay? Who want to be seen, who want to be noticed, and thinking getting all of these the surgery done is going to change your dating game and give you better chances of meeting someone that's going to worship you. But you're not doing nothing no different than Phaedra and the rest of these women out here who's getting botched surgery and wearing blonde wigs. Everybody is starting to look alike. Everybody is starting to look the same. So there's nothing you're doing that's making you stand out. So NeNe is getting a harsh reality check that these dudes out here ain't checking for you. And the one man you did have that was checking for you and loved your dirty draws, He's gone now. See, sometimes it's the little things. Yeah, you might have been looking for a big baller shot caller, but the fact that Greg listened to you, he talked to you, he comforted you, he held your hand. No, this is what you did. Let me show you what you did before Greg could get in the ground right quick. This is what you started doing. And I knew it was a facade because you was trying so hard to act like you were so happy. And you wasn't. Posting all these vacation pictures, you know, living your best life. This what you was doing. You was strutting. I'm trying to find that specific video. You was everywhere with NeNe. Now, I don't ever hear about her and her African bae. Ooh, no, her too much nose job. Somebody put a lot of contour. Somebody contoured the hell out of nose on that one. Yeah, you was everywhere, honey. You acting like, I'm not saying when you lose someone that you should just be grieving forever. But, honey, you wasted no time. And then you found out your African babe was a narcissist. Let me see if I could now I'm not
Cynthia
gonna
Bailey's ex
play the audio, but this just go, honey. She thought because she had success, she automatically was entitled to the best. NeNe was looking for a man to match her fly. She didn't care if he was a narcissist. She didn't care if he was a womanizer. She wanted something that would make her look good, like her red bottom shoes and her Prada bag. See, this is what her and Ditzy Brain Portia did. Picking up these African bays who be coming over here using desperate, thirsty American women, who obviously feel like they got a point to prove to men who no longer really cared about them. But this what NeNe was doing, honey. Cause I'm NeNe, a Bravo star. If I want some good eye candy that's gonna match my fly and make me look good, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what she called herself doing. Only for to find out this man not only was NeNe using her, NeNe was a married man too. Just like Greg was a married man. Y'all keep messing with these married men and y'all wonder why y'all luck be going bad. Now here it is. She's pretending like she having her best life. And the reality it was all a facade. All this was to cover up what you really felt was now you realize that Greg is everything to you. But when he was here, you were so busy wanting to do you, so busy trying to, you know, prove you're this mega star and you are Bravo, even though Bravo was the one that gave you the opportunity, and you did like Diddy, you showed your behind, and when they got tired of you acting like you owed them, when they was the one who put you on, they discarded you. So you've been around here grabbing these, you know, mediocre opportunities, and I'm not knocking nobody bad. You got to do you, get what you can get. But you have not been able to really exceed to that next level. You know, all this, you know, these little T-Boo, TV show opportunities they've been giving you is nothing like the platform we are used to seeing you on. But anyway, that's the deal with NeNe. A part of me wants to feel sorry for her. I do feel sorry for her losing her husband, but I seen NeNe show her ass too many times to really have that type of sympathy with her. And all y'all making these excuses where everybody grieves differently. Listen, NeNe was all up in the club, okay? Living her best life when Greg was on his deathbed, okay? So you got to be careful. God holds you responsible how you treat your husband and how you treat your wife. Speaking of wife or fiance, let's talk about your girl Chrissy and Jim Jones, okay? So for y'all who have not heard, y'all know Chrissy was also from the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Okay? And as we know, they're still together. Well, might not be according to this post that I'm getting ready to show y'all. We've seen Chrissy. We've seen Chrissy and Jim's relationship pretty much play out. And we've seen how Chrissy bullied other women on the show. We've seen how she, you know, would give all of this, you know, heat for Jimmy. And basically, we've seen Jimmy just start prolonging, taking things to the next level with Chrissy. We've seen Chrissy humiliate herself by getting down on her knees proposing to Jimmy, which I would never propose to a man, but that's just me. We've seen Chrissy act like this. I'm the HBIC. I'm this bad BITCH. I'm not the one to play with. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Only for her to be humiliated several times by Jimmy, who is this washed up rapper, okay? Who is still a mama's boy, who has a mama that's pretty much like another Mama D, who still pretty much, you know, tries to run his life. Well, she doesn't run his life as much anymore. But we've seen Chrissy jump to every defense when it came to Jimmy. We saw how she got into arguments with people that she felt was trying to use Jimmy for clout in his career, which he barely had a career. We've seen her fall out with every cast member, just like NeNe did. And like I said, Chrissy is a smart businesswoman, but her attitude and the fact that she's always been very bullyish with women who she felt she could dominate, the fact that she was always argumentative, always getting in other women's faces, you know, the mean girl thing just was not a good look on her. They did end up doing their own spinoff, Vow or Never, in which they were doing their own reality show as far as making plans or making a decision and deciding if they're going to take things to the next level, which they never did then, and from the looks of it, they didn't now. So basically, Chrissy gave up. She realized that Jimmy is like another Scrappy. He's a man-child that's just not going to grow up. She was trying to make him a husband. Now, keep in mind, Chrissy is older than Jim Jones, okay? So, I just wanted to show y'all who she was, right? And she was trying to make him man up, and they were never able, she was never able to accomplish that, all right? And I guess she finally got to that point when she posted this. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin allegedly split, but I won't be surprised if she doesn't end up back with him, because Jimmy knows how to cry and like a puppy, you know, whenever he feels like, you know, Chrissy is going to pull away from good. Or he may have gotten to that point where he's tired of Chrissy trying to run him and push him and force him to be something he ain't. So he may be satisfied with things never going back to what it was. He may be okay with the breakup. But getting to the meme, I want to find that because I want y'all to actually see it. I want y'all to see that. They've been together 20 years, y'all. That's crazy. 20 years. Let me see if I can find. I want to find that meme for y'all because I want y'all to actually see it. So now she calls herself, okay, I saved it, it's right here. Alright. So now, this is recent, y'all. This was yesterday, I believe. Chrissy, this is her actual Instagram. You and I both know you will never find someone like me. Good luck trying, though. I'll have you replaced by tomorrow. And everybody like, girl, you know, this is another 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 moment, okay? You're just mad, you're angry, but at the end of the day, we know you're not going anywhere, and that's your choice. I don't knock women who leave or stay, but when you constantly keep voicing that you're done with a man only to not be done with a man, it's just repetitive to me. It's like listening to an inmate saying, When I get out, I'm gonna do better with my life. Only for them to turn around incarcerated and then right back in jail, right? So anyway, this is the latest in which she is basically stating, you know, she's planning on moving on. So Jim Jones and his long-term girlfriend, Chrissy Lampkin, have allegedly called it quits after a post she made on her Instagram story. On Friday, Chrissy wrote, "You and I both know you will never find someone like me. Good luck trying. I'll have you replaced by tomorrow." It's unclear what prompted the post, but the pair's relationship has been long and documented rocky history. The couple met nearly 20 years ago after a 2004 encounter in a lounge in Harlem. So anyway, yep, so she's known from Love and Hip Hop New York. Okay, I must have said Atlanta. New York. That was the very, very first season. So anyway, y'all, she's claiming she's done with Jimmy. And honey, you should have been done with Jimmy long time ago. You were older than him. I think she got him about 6-7 years. Jimmy has always been a man child. You got on your knee, gave him an expensive ring, only for him to lose that expensive ring. You don't get along with his mom, or you don't argue with his mama several times. I think now she gets along better with the mama, but it's been years of arguing and fighting with the mama. You got you another Scrappy. And see, I know there's women who love to be so bullyish towards other women. They're never a big bully when it comes to the men in their lives, to the men that disrespect them, to the men that won't be men for them. See, they don't have that same type of smoke for these no good narcissistic ninjas, but want to fight a woman in a heartbeat, want to get in a woman's face in a heartbeat, got all this smoke for other women. But they soft as patty when it comes to these men, you know, taking them through all type of changes. Only thing I could say, Chrissy, I believe it when I see it. You have invested 20 years into a man child. You didn't get nothing out of it. Not a ring, not even children, nothing out of being with Jimmy. You could have put that 20 years into a real man that could have elevated you. You could have owned businesses by now. You just could have had way more than what you have. Jimmy done showed you too many times his character. But just like you go around here bullying all these other women, you should have had that same energy to bully yourself up out that unfulfilled relationship that you was trying to elevate into a marriage. Honey, no sympathy here for me. That's all I got to say, because I done seen Chrissy drag and bully a lot of people over Jimmy. She done disrespected a lot of women over Jimmy, you know, and you getting back your karma, okay? So you got to be careful protecting and defending these men and all they wrongdoing, because when they do you wrong, ain't nobody gonna have no sympathy for you. So good luck to Chrissy. At least she did make the decision. It took 20 years though for her to finally get to the conclusion this is not working, and we got to hope it stays this way. She may get back with Jimmy. We'll give it by Friday, okay? After Friday, if she don't get back with Jimmy, you know, I wish her the best. Your boy Usher. Listen, y'all, a lot of people, names are being dropped. You know, in this lawsuit with Diddy, all of a suddenly, right? And I'm just going to give y'all a little. I don't want to talk about this too long, because this is going to make my content even longer, right? I want to share this with y'all. A lot of CEOs and executives are resigning. They stepping down. I thought I had it. I thought I saved it, y'all. But it's a lot of executives stepping down. But you know what? Y'all are gonna have to catch. Y'all gonna have to just catch it on my other channel when I upload it. I'm gonna be mentioning all the names that are also going to be mentioned in the indictment, or potentially or allegedly in the docket. So if y'all want all the specific names of who else who's most likely potentially also going to get indicted, all of these big CEOs, all of these other famous celebrities who y'all praise and worship, I advise y'all to check out my other video that I'm going to upload If not today, definitely tomorrow. But check out my community tab, because I'm going to let y'all know when it's ready to be uploaded. Diddy's Downfall from Grace Part 3. This is going to go on my other channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris, in which I'm going to give y'all all the names, all the people that are stepping down already. I know the CEO of Nike shoes, he done already stepped down. He's one that I can remember. A couple already know the heat is coming. They know the train is coming. So they're trying to unloosen themselves from the track because they don't want to get hit, right? So make sure y'all subscribe to my other channel. I'm doing a part 3. I've already done 2 parts on the Diddy's Downfall from Grace. Make sure y'all check out the other 2 if y'all haven't. I'm breaking up into series. Part 3, I'm going to be basically breaking down how the legacy of Combs' downfall is going to forever affect his family, his mother, his children, all of his businesses. I'm going to have a whole lot to say on that one. So I want y'all to make sure y'all tune in, subscribe to my other channel, because I be kicking some good stuff over there too now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just want to share that with y'all. Usher seemingly dismisses theory he deleted X account, but of course everybody has noticed that he deleted all of his posts on the account over the weekend, and basically he called himself trying to shut down the rumors and gave a simple explanation for why his tweets had briefly disappeared. Account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it. The single 45 says, see y'all tonight though. So earlier in the weekend, all of Usher's X posts vanished, which used to be Twitter, but they call it X now. So all of his posts had vanished earlier in the weekend, leading other social media users to believe he deleted his account. The apparent wiping of his page was so widely discussed that it became a trending topic, that many armchair theorists wondering what could have inspired Usher to seemingly delete his account. Some of the users speculated that the timing was related to the recent arrest of Sean Combs, who was a longtime collaborator of Usher's. Their work together dates back to Usher's 1994 album, which was executively produced by Diddy at the time. Also, Diddy was arrested Monday and denied bail. 1 day later, he was charged with sex trafficking and all racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty to each count. However, Diddy still, of course, says he's innocent. I'm trying to get to the part, basically. But anyway, again, I'm saving all of that for there. I don't want to discuss that over here. I don't want to mix one content up with something else. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people are looking at Usher with the side eye, because, again, they feel like it's very coincidental that Usher's tweets have been deleted, especially with everybody dropping down, all these CEOs, all these executives, and Usher and Diddy was just like that, okay? Anybody who's been around in the industry knows that Usher has very close ties to Diddy. He even admitted to going to his freak-offs even when he was a child. So all this is alleged. We don't know if Usher really had anything to do with all of the sex trafficking and prostitution part. That part we don't know of yet, right? But it just goes to show people are watching. People are putting their foots on celebrity necks. We are watching these celebrities. We are watching every move that is being made, you know, with this whole ordeal. Now, what I will do this right quick. I will just give y'all a little glimpse on some of the people that have been named. Okay? Again, I'm not going to go into everything, but I'm just going to show y'all some pictures. These are the individuals that they are saying, allegedly, that's going to be mentioned in the indictment. Okay? I'm going to just say the names because some of y'all may not be familiar. Y'all should know Jay-Z, Carisha, from Miami Girls. You know, that was Diddy's boo thing. Meek Mill, Saucy Santana, Stevie J, he gives me the creeps. Quincy, Machine Gun Kelly is a rapper. Rick Ross, he swallowed them. Pastor Jakes, Oprah, Usher, Trey Songz, he always look creepy to me. He like the type of dude that slipping Mickey in your drink. I just don't trust him. He looks creepy. I never liked him. Jennifer Lopez, coincidentally, a lot of her shows are getting canceled. And her last husband, Ben Affleck, divorced her. So a whole lot going on. Will Smith, I will not be surprised. Will Smith has shown over and over he's not the person he pretends to be. I know this is I forgot A-Rod, Jennifer Lopez ex-boyfriend. Kevin Hart, he's a freak. I believe he was there faithfully like a Christian every Sunday in church. He's a straight freak, and it's already been alleged that if his wife finds out he done had any parts in that she's divorcing him. And I don't blame her, because he's already been caught in a lot of sex scandals as it is. Megan, DJ Khaled, Monet, Lizzie, I won't be surprised. She's always done anything for clout and recognition, so I wouldn't be shocked. These two are weird. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, they just give me weird vibes. Demi, Shaq, Lil Uzi, the little zesty demonic rapper. French Montana, he's been way too comfortable with Diddy. A lot of videos I saw that already gives me sugary suspicion with him. I done seen him be inappropriate with Diddy a couple of times. I'm not gonna show it here though. Drea, listen, all these heavy hitters, Tyler Perry, so Joan, Ross, whatever. So I'm gonna come out of it again. I'm gonna talk about all of that on my other channel. Diddy's Downfall from Grace Part 3. You're going to have to view it on Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Not here. But anyway, I'm going to shut it down. I kept y'all long enough. Make sure y'all hit the like button if you haven't. Don't forget, if anybody's interested in donating for me to get a new microphone, so I got better audio with my content, you're more than welcome to send $5 to my Cash App, Diamond Girl right there. Other than that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I appreciate y'all for viewing. Thank y'all again. I appreciate the support. It's your girl, your diva knowledge lady, Mocha, signing off with Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all be blessed and have a wonderful day. Take care.